things are dense, not dull. The perceiver is dull if thinking dense stuff is of importance. I wrote the importance part, but it's actually more like just thinking it's not just important, right? But like more than other things, or just kind of like, you know,
What's more than other things? What is that referring?
the dense stuff. Like if I think that the material object of this table is duller than like energy, any other kind of energy, you know,
Right.
then I'm making an assumption about this thing, but actually it's just a mass of moving bubbles and molecules.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. So if I say it's dull, I'm actually dull because I'm
kind of
thinking this.
Yeah, it's more specific than that, because I guess that works, but it's more like so the reason we wrote this was because I sometimes would call things like how the material body is the densest and dullest part of a human experience possible. Like, this is of all of the things that I am, the body, like my hand and the physical blood flowing through it and all that stuff, it's the densest and dullest part of me. But so if you're paying attention to that and you're giving any kind of importance to that, then you're basically stuck in the dense part. They're really like just it's one where all of the energy is, because it's like so strongly like we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. Like, it is the densest, most solid part of us that we cannot miss this. Like, if you miss your body in like this dense section of you, then you've missed so much of the moment of that experience, of this, like, of that dimension of your existence, because it is so dense. Like, you have to catch that if you're going to have any form of awareness. It eventually ultimately will end up on the dense part, and so much more subtle stuff, but it has to go through density first. The other side of it is if you're calling it dull, which is where I realized that a lot of the times I shouldn't be calling it dull, because it's only dull. The dense part of a person is only dull if their mind is dull and they're seeing it as important.
And important specific too. Like,
yeah,
kind of got to define important.
Yeah, like as if this has any significance or effect on their state of being. Like, if I look at a fingernail and be like, oh, my fingernail's too short or too long or something. What's more common? That's a terrible example. My eyelashes are too short. I don't know. What I'm bad at stuff.
Anything that people like do to make themselves.
My haircut. Haircut's
a fine one. Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean,
my hair is I don't like it when it's like a little long. I'm gonna get it cut because it has to be in a certain area or whatever. Like, if that's a huge part of your mental capacity and like all of your attention and energy is going to that, your mind has to be dull just for that to take place, because it's such a dense, really solid, observable thing. Like, you're not able to understand any kind of subtleties. You have no awareness of the subtleties of what's actually taking place, because your concern and like all of your energy is gone to something that is so dense, so observable. Like, it's the very absolute surface level of where awareness begins, that your mind has to be dull to not even be able to feel or like understand the solid nature of a human physical experience, and give it this importance beyond itself that has like nothing to do with it.
I mean, a simple sort of, I was just thinking the relation there is that like the physical body grows the hair. So if you're focused on the hair, you're already focused on the element that comes after. Like, even you could think of it like that. But it's also that may be where you are at in terms of where your mind is, and then that's where you have to start too, right? Like, there's no like sense.
It always has to start there. Like, literally every single moment.
Well, there's
Your awareness has to pass through what is solid.
Yeah.
Like it has to be involved within the physical domain, and like the solidity of existence as far as like the human physical experience goes. So it is the beginning.